Brought to you by Penguin.
Tyrant by Conn Iggulden. Read by Lydia Leonard. Prologue. Bells sounded across Rome. Thousands were struck, over and over. Every temple acolyte wielded handbells or rapped a bar against a curve of bronze. Like thunder, the notes rolled out over the 7 hills of the city and past the great walls. The result was both patterned and tuneless, filling every street, echoing through temples and arches. Workers stopped their hurrying to stand in awe at a sound they might never hear again. Their own lives went on, their hopes and tragedies with the grind of work and the struggle to raise a family. For just a morning, all that was interrupted. The Emperor would marry that day, before the sun rose to noon. He would put a gold ring on the finger of a woman many of them knew by name, Agrippina, daughter to General Germanicus, whom they had loved, sister to Caligula, whom they had feared, of the bloodline of Augustus himself. As Agrippina was in her 30s, with a son of her own, Emperor Claudius had found no blushing virgin to ease him into old age. Both saddles and gloves grow more comfortable with use, so the men said. Fires do not have to rage to warm a bed, and for some the companionship of a woman can be something he does not even know he needs, until she has told him so, many times. On the crest of the Celian hill, Junius Silanus faced the Praetorians who had come into his home. It was too late to think about how he might have prepared for such a threat. They had brought an iron ram to smash their way in. His door had seemed a fine and solid thing the day before. They had broken it with 2 blows, like bell notes themselves. Nor had his servant been ready for an armed assault, not in darkness. Before the sun showed, soldiers were crashing through his home, searching every room until they arrived at his bed. In the pale dawn light, the praetor hid his fear as best he could. Junius was 20 years of age, and carried a gladius he had snatched up. The house was large, a symbol of Silanus' wealth. He had managed to pull on a robe and sandals, but his hair was wild as he faced them. He blinked at the uniforms, recognizing the regiment that guaranteed the safety of the Emperor and his family. In turn, they ignored him, fanning out around the room, checking doors and windows, making sure he was truly alone. The threat of a single sword did not seem to worry the men who had come into his house. Junius felt his heart hammering so hard he wondered if he would faint. Yet a worm of hope uncoiled almost painfully. They were imperial soldiers, men of discipline and order. Junius Silanus was both senator and praetor, law officer, and one of a gilded 8 across the entire empire. His official title was second in rank only to the consuls, with Emperor Claudius above all. The sword that trembled in his hand suddenly felt foolish. The young praetor tossed it onto the bed. "I am Praetor Junius Silanus Torquatus," he said, forcing his voice to calm authority. He could hear bells in the street outside, the sound spreading across the city. That sense of joy clashed with acid in his mouth. He breathed slowly, sensing confidence in the men who faced him. His older brother would know what to do. Marcus was the head of the family, married with children and already the image of their father. He had protected Junius from tormentors more than once. If he could have been summoned by sheer force of need, he would have stood in the doorway at that moment. "Gentlemen, there has clearly been a terrible error," he said. "I am praetor of the city, a senator. You may present your written orders to me. Perhaps you did not realize this is a private house." It was subtle, but 2 of the Praetorians turned slightly as if to question another. That man wore no badge of rank. He was the oldest of them, around 50, broad and compact-looking. His arms were crisscrossed with thin white scars, and Junius saw 2 fingers were missing from his left hand.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?